pillar of this whole Neopets renaissance that we believe in is that we need to build with the community. And my personal view is that this IP belongs to the TNT, the company, as much as this IP belongs to the community. And it's great to see that we have so many fan-run, community-run projects, including like Grundo's Cafe and a lot of other fan site. So like the way that we're looking to is work a lot more closely together on official capacity to really have better integration or feedback loop with like community-run projects like Grundo's Cafe. So yeah, we're putting in the framework to make this process efficient. We've been discussing with your team on how to make this happen, and other programs that we're doing all kind of like point us into this direction where we can build Neopets back to his glory days with our community's help, but also really sharing this love for the IP with the whole community.
Yeah, I mean, I think we certainly try to like do well by the IP. I mean, like the respect it deserves.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, thank you for working on Grundo's Cafe. I mean, from our point of view, it's going to be like, it's always great to have a time capsule historical relic of the original look and feel of what Neopets is. And that would always be a very special place for a lot of us.
Yeah. Cool. I'm going to ask one more question.
Let's see here. So given that Neopets is mainly independent now, is it possible for fans to develop fan games?
Yeah, so that's actually part of the vision with Neopets as well, so that the community can also make use of this system. Like fan-built games or community-driven games can also be part of the Neopets ecosystem. So we've announced that there are like community fan sites that will be joining with leveraging the Neopets infrastructure, like Dress to Impress and Sunny Neo are the two sites to be implementing it. And in the future, if there are any like fans develop games, it will be possible for them to be kind of like part of it as well and make it easier for Neopians to play across different games.
That is so cool. Awesome.
When we first started Toontown Rewritten, something that I was very strongly advocating for in the early days was the idea that this wasn't just going to be another private server, because like at the time, you know, back in 2013, like private servers were almost had a little bit of a negative stigma attached to them in that like they were usually very unmoderated. It was just like, you know, a group of fans would bring something online, but it was like so they could mess around, hack the game. It'd be sort of a no man's land, and like it didn't really feel like the same game anymore. It just felt like someone's playground that they can play in that game. And when we started working on Toontown Rewritten, and we realized, you know, just the reality of Toontown Online shutting down, and the fact that we wanted this to continue for people for as long as possible, we had to put lots of time and effort and thought into how do we, honestly similar to what the Toontown Online developers were thinking when the game started, like how do we make sure that this game lasts 20 years into the future? What can we do to make sure that we aren't going to get a cease and desist from Disney and like have to shut down after a month? And so that was, of course, things like the fact that we don't collect donations, we don't run ads, we don't take money from any of you, and we have a 24/7 moderation team that keeps the game as family friendly as possible. But even more so, it was investigating very deeply into what makes Toontown special, and what is it about the original design, so that we don't just like bring this game back online and then leave it to collect dust, but we continue developing it as if it never closed, so that if at any point Disney looks at it and starts to think like, you know, should we be allowing this to happen, they'll see Toontown as something that is increasing in quality and value and actually being more of a benefit to them in terms of like creating new Disney fans and you know, refreshing this IP that they have, rather than something that's decreasing the value of it because it's you know, the no man's land of like other private servers. Speaking not even about Toontown private servers, but like other games back then. And so I am, incredibly proud of the team that we have and how far we've come in those 10 years to be able to fully realize that vision. We were reminiscing as we set up for ToonFest that I do want to ask, anyone in the audience here, were you here in 2015 for ToonFest? We got a couple hands who were here for ToonFest 2015. Yeah, awesome. I'm so glad you're still here. And do you guys remember how wimpy it was? Like it was a table smaller than this table we're sitting in front of right now that just had a single banner on the front of it. We had no laptops for people to play the game. We just had some trading cards that we were passing out, and we were in a hallway. And it was like the smallest little thing. And to be able to see now, like all these years later, almost 10 years from our first ToonFest, where we have a 3,000 square foot booth that feels like you're entering Toontown as you walk into it, and like hundreds of people out here who have come to see it. I don't know, it really does make me emotional to think about how far we've been able to come and just how much this game means to people. So it's a very long-winded way of saying that I feel like we have been able to fulfill what we originally sought out to do with Toontown Rewritten, and we just want to keep pushing it further and further now.